Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm Kelee.
I'm Erin.
Erin picked the theme of the day.
The theme. We love a theme.
The people love dating, and they love sisters yelling at each other.
Yeah. So we decided to not go with that today. Well, still dating, but not sisters yelling at each other.
Maybe.
So we decided to go a little lighthearted today, and we found some very funny, also cutesy, just random date stories to entertain us that are not negative and not going to bring the vibes down.
Oh, really? They're not negative?
No, we don't have to lecture. These are just for us to be like lighthearted and happy and enjoy what people can laugh about after a date.
Okay, slay.
Yeah, so these are good for a little pick-me-up episode. No lecturing. We don't have to teach anyone anything. These people already learned their lessons.
You know what we should get in addition to this? We should get one of those pointers. You know, those like metal pointers that...
Yes, and a whiteboard.
Does everyone remember what I'm talking about? Like middle or grade school teachers used to have them, and then you would pull it out and they would point to things on the board. I thought those were the coolest thing ever.
What are we gonna point at?
I don't know. I guess I feel like we could point at like...
We would have to have a map on the wall.
We could introduce like CGI and there could be like pop-ups that we could point to.
Yes.
That would be so funny. But do people watch podcasts? Actually, I'm curious about this. Do people watch this podcast or do you just listen to it? And do you really pay attention to the cameras, the camera angles? People have commented on the new set. Someone actually just left a really sweet comment. They just were like, it's been a while since I watched, but I love the new set.
Oh, that's nice because
like,
I always wonder, like, do people actually watch? And I'm like, do we even just nix the video altogether? It's a podcast, but
I don't know about that.
If people,
I don't know about all that.
Sometimes I like to do it with my hair a little greasy after work. So
I know that is the hard thing because this is like being on TV. This is like being a newscaster.
Right. I have the face for radio, so
I know. You know, that's
but now
the
I
thing.
gotta do it on TV.
You wanted to be a podcaster, you wanted to be a radio host, and now all of a sudden you're a television star. You're an internet star.
Crazy.
You know, video killed the radio star. We were almost the radio star.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Okay, should we get into it?
Okay, yes.
I haven't heard any of the stories.
They're just goofy.
Okay.
All right.
So if this episode sucks, don't blame me.
Blame the writers. So my date picked me up and took me to a play in which he was performing. I had to take aspirin at that time, and for some reason it made me drowsy. I got up and I went to the restroom during the first act, and I literally fell asleep. I woke up as other theater goers started coming in towards the end. I hustled to my feet, and I ran backstage as fast as I quickly could with my numb legs. He asked how I liked his performance, and I told him it was absolutely wonderful. I never saw him again, but had we known each other better, I maybe would have come clean and we would have had a good laugh. Ronnie, if you're reading this, I'm sure the play really was awesome.
Okay, can I say something that annoys me about men, honestly? Why do men think that having a girl watch them do an activity is a date or is quality time? Like this, I feel like this happens so often, and this has happened to me before, where a man thinks that like me watching him surf is quality time and that's a date and that's us hanging out. No, that's me sitting alone watching you do something that you enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know how this is a first date.
Yeah, if anything,
you don't get to know anyone.
No, go on a date with someone and then say, oh, if you want to come see a show, I won't be able to hang out with you, but because I'll be on stage. But if you want to come see my show, come and see it. We can hang out after or whatever. Then we can hang out next weekend and discuss. That is not a date.
Yeah, very strange.
People are so dumb. Okay.
Very strange. This one's just a little cringe. We started talking, and for a while, we made it clear that neither of us were religious. Over a week of texting before we met. He showed up to meet me in his Sunday best after church, holding a Bible, and he prayed for us at the start of the date. No, he wasn't joking.
No.
What? Why did you say you weren't religious and you literally showed up with a Bible and said, let's pray at the start of our date? Go on a date with someone else who wants to pray at the start of your date.
I'm speechless. Do you think that it was actually just someone who was trying to get someone to join their church?
Yeah, I do think the top comment was, what? Is this deliberate entrapment? Some sort of flirty fishing for Jesus? Like, maybe he really was like, okay, I'm going to find someone who doesn't believe in God and I'm going to show up and pray for them.
I actually think that's
like a culty type of thing.
Yes, I actually think that's what that is because, I mean, all the signs point. That's okay.
A little cringe.
Okay.
Pre-COVID, a funny story and a guy I ended up still being friends with. We met online, but we had a lot of mutual friends. So when he offered me a ride home after, it turns out we lived in neighboring buildings. I was happy to take it. When we got there, he invited me in for a drink and I accepted.
Wait, sorry, where were they? On a date?
Yeah, they were on a date.
Did it say first date?
It was a first date. They had met online, but they had a lot of mutual friends.
Oh, okay, wait. I don't know why my brain just like jumped to like she got in a car with him and nothing else matters.
No.
What?
It turns out they lived in neighboring buildings, so she was happy to accept the ride.
Okay.
When they got home, he invited her in for a drink and she accepted. He told me he had to warn me about something important before we went in, so I was expecting the worst. The first thing he says to me is, "Just so you know, I have a small but very tasteful taxidermy collection in here. I understand that might be off-putting for some people, so I wanted to let you know." Turns out he was right. It was small and tasteful. A couple of animal skulls, one butterfly collection, a stuffed turtle, and I think one or two other things, all of which he found at thrift stores. We never dated again. We are still friends to this day, but I do still refer to him as the tasteful taxidermy date.
Yeah. Okay, wait. That's almost...
That reminds me of the gnome story.
Yeah.
There was a story that Kelee and Trisha read years ago.
I feel like it was like one of the first episodes.
It was
of
a
the
very
podcast.
long time ago, and the girl was obsessed with garden gnomes, and they went on a date, and he went into her house, and it was covered in garden
like
gnomes.
Hundreds of gnomes. And we were like, no, don't let anyone dim your shine. Don't let anyone bury your gnome.
I do think that's a little more crazy than some tasteful taxidermy, though.
Yeah, I almost think that if he didn't even tell her,
you might not question it.
Yeah, you might not question it, because anyone that I know who's like an outdoorsman has that kind of stuff. Growing up, I was friends with a girl whose parents were outdoorsmen, and they definitely had like deer and stuff like that in their house.
People keep things that they hunt, and it's like it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you don't really question it. It's just like...
You're not like, oh, you're creepy because you have a dead deer. Okay, it's not my thing. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, actually.
But to call it tasteful taxidermy, it's tasteful. My collection is tasteful.
It's like what they have at Cabela's. That like, I have not actually been to Cabela's in like 10 to 15 years, but I remember they have this fake mountain full of taxidermied animals.
Like mountain animals.
Right. And you know what? Fine, I'll say it. If you just want to kill those animals just to taxidermy them in your house, you are creepy, okay? And it is a problem, in my opinion. And I'm judging you.
Yeah, this guy thrifted his.
You're just killing
he picked him
it
up
for
at
fun.
Cabela's.
Yeah. I guess if you thrift it, it's kind of like eating a cloned piece of meat or something. Like, have you heard this whole debate?
No.
Basically, if we were able to clone meat, and so no animal ever had to die ever again in order to feed a population, should we eat it, and would vegans or vegetarians eat it? And a lot of them, I think, said no, because an animal had to die in order to get the original.
Yeah.
And now that this is a clone, it still like stems back from the original.
Yeah, because clones in reality are not fake. Like, they're still living things. We just copied the DNA.
I think with the animal thing,
they're saying it would be completely fake.
It wouldn't be alive.
Okay.
I think it would just be like the meat itself would be okay.
I can't fathom it because it feels like chemicals.
I didn't think that far into it, because in theory, if that was the case, if they were alive and then they had to die, what would really be the difference between breeding and cloning at that point?
It's
like you would just be
breeding in a lab.
So I don't think they would be alive, or I don't think they would have to be killed. I didn't mean to say or. I was like, they wouldn't have to be alive or be killed. No,
either one of
they're
those
the same
things.
Basically, when it comes to meat. Anyway, wait, why did we start talking about clones? Because taxidermy. It's kind of like that, or it's like thrifting vintage fur.
Okay.
Like I don't want to go and kill someone or someone. Sorry,
I don't either.
Anything. I don't want to kill an animal for its fur, but if there's a fur jacket that's sitting at Goodwill for $30, it's either me or the landfill.
Or the next guy,
What do we just throw it in the trash? It's like, then it's all
already
vain,
done,
you know?
yeah.
Anyway, but that's a whole debate. That's a whole moral debate.
He is taking good care of his taxidermy collection, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Not that weird. So this guy, pretty funny, but I matched with him on OkCupid. I've never heard of that, but I've been seeing it a lot in these stories.
You've never heard of that?
No.
I think it's owned by Match.com.
Wow, it's like a
wait,
real...
is that Plenty of Fish?
OkCupid really sounds like a fake, like, oh, in the movie, we matched on OkCupid.
Yeah. Actually, they kind of all do. Plenty of Fish, Coffee Meets Bagel.
Yeah.
Like, the only ones that don't sound fake, I feel like, are dating apps, like Tinder and Hinge.
Hinge, yeah.
Because you're like,
Bumble.
yeah, that's not
It's not like a fun name.
Yeah. But these witty names.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. We met up at a coffee shop where I worked at the time. It was a mostly normal first date. He was a little bit awkward and we weren't quite vibing, so we knew there wasn't going to be a second date. Abruptly, like literally in the middle of a conversation, he stood up, said he had to get going, and left. I wondered if I'd said something offensive, but couldn't for the life of me think of anything I'd done wrong. When I looked at the time, I noticed that it was almost exactly 1 hour from when we had arrived. Made me wonder if he had set some sort of timer or something. Anyway, when I looked back at the app, he'd sent me a message saying, "Hey, thanks for the date. I think we should remain just friends or strangers." Like, strangers. You could have just left it be.
Honestly,
or strangers.
I kind of like that because it's kind of like straight up. It's kind of like, we don't need to fake this.
We don't need to be friends.
We are not, connected. You have your people, I have mine.
We're strangers. Let's be
we're
strangers.
Wait, I kind of want to pull out, I'm just getting FOMO. I kind of want to pull up my list of bad date stories and read some. Can I?
Okay.
Will you allow it?
Yes.
Really? Okay, I'll get my phone.
Every time I try to run an episode, Kelee intervenes and takes over.
I have no self-restraint. It's just so fun to gather a list of stories and then read them.
I know, and that's what I was trying to do. And then Kelee took my episode here. Let me read one
yes, read another.
Let me read a really funny one that actually did kind of make me laugh.
Okay.
On a first date, we waited for our reserved table and she decided that the cactus centerpiece would look better at her place. So she literally just bagged the tiny plant in her purse. Must have been 4 inches tall. I couldn't help myself but fear that she would have been arrested when we were done with our meal. Nothing happened, but I did go buy a similar plant the next day and brought it back to the restaurant. Never heard from this girl again.
Oh my God.
Imagine like you're on a first date, you guys are just like waiting at the hostess stand and your date's like, "I like that plant," and just takes it and puts it in their purse.
It's so uncomfortable when people do kind of immoral things, but not like criminal. I guess honestly that is kind of criminal.
Stealing.
Because that is, if you're stealing a cactus from a table at a restaurant, you are probably a felon. So, or you're gonna be when you get
straight
convicted.
to jail.
But it is really awkward because what are you supposed to say? Like, don't take that cactus
on a first date too.
And then
you
you're like,
this girl.
I don't know this person. Like, I can't tell them how to live their life. And what if they get mad at me? What are they going to do if they get mad when I correct their behavior?
And what's that thing called where you're addicted to stealing? A kleptomaniac?
Yes.
She's probably that, honestly. She sees the second you guys you don't even sit down for dinner yet, and she's like, I should take that.
I know someone like that. It's a friend of a friend is like that. She will go to CVS or, have you heard this phrase? Oh my gosh, now I don't know it. I used to live by this. Just kidding. It's like, if it's a chain, if it's a chain, it's free reign. That's what it is.
What?
So basically people think if you go into a chain store like Walmart, Target, CVS, free reign, take whatever you want. But if it's a mom and pop shop, don't steal from them.
What?
Which it's like, you're almost a moral person. You're almost living by ethics.
I don't support.
Yeah. But I know a girl, it's my friend's friend who does that, I think.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like to really, like you get a high off stealing something. Like,
yeah.
Get a job.
No, I think that, yeah, right. I know. It's weirdest when these people have jobs and they just get high off of stealing things. Like it's not about money, like at all. Yeah, weird. It's really weird.
Very weird.
I'm judging you.
Yeah, I mean, I am.
I'm gonna read one. I have no idea what these stories are because I've gathered them over a long period of time. And then basically when I have enough good ones, that's when we do an episode. So I don't know if...
Or when you take over an episode.
Right, exactly. So I don't know what's gonna happen. So if I seem shocked, it's genuine. After matching on Tinder and chatting for a while, this guy and I decided to meet up. We were both around 30 at the time and he seemed nice and funny. First thing I noticed is that he's super tall and looks kind of strong. I only mention this since it's relevant for why I didn't just run off later. Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, these might be more nefarious than yours. I can barely see his facial expression because of his length. I get a little uncomfortable by this, but shake it off. We decide to head out for a picnic and go to a nearby store to pick up something to eat. In the store, he grabs my ass. No. I try to laugh it off, but since I cannot really see his face, I don't know if he's creepy AF or just has the worst sense of humor ever. I shake it off and we start... Wait a second. Is this a Taylor Swift reference? Hold on. Because she was saying shake it off and now she's going into the woods. Okay, maybe I'm just insane. I was like, is this going to be like a trick story?
She's literally just reading Taylor Swift.
Right. Like people writing a story, but just like with her words. Okay, no. We decide to head over. Okay. I shake it off and we start walking in the woods. We're heading for a lake nearby. Lots of people are there, but not so many on the trail. He suddenly stops me, looks deep into my eyes, then lifts me off the ground. He smiles and doesn't say anything. I'm stunned, a bit scared since we're the only people here, and by now also annoyed AF. I tell him to put me down. He does so, and we continue walking. Then he stops and lifts me again 3 times. I'm so sick of this person now, and I just want to end the date, but we're in the middle of the woods, and I don't want to anger him. When he stops me for the 100th time, I'm so over it, and I basically go, "What? Why are we stopping again?" He then smiles like a possessed person would smile and says, "This is the happiest day of my life." I got out of there as fast as I could and never spoke to him again. 2 days later, he sent me a picture of a lizard.
That is so cringe.
Wait, why do I feel like, okay, this is me judging, but why do I feel like he's like, I'm big and strong. I
just want to lift a cute
like
girl.
I want to show her that I can.
Yeah.
I can.
That's exactly what I think it is, and that's why I'm cringing.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I'll lift you. Like girls love to be lifted, like in The Notebook. Or is that in The Notebook? He lifts her up. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, the lizard. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'd rather go on a taxidermy date.
Yeah. I feel like that's lighthearted actually because, okay, well, he did physically touch her, so that's not lighthearted, but they never spoke again. And then he sent her a picture of a lizard. It's not the worst story I've ever heard.
I mean, was the lizard cute, I guess? I don't know.
Was the taxidermy cute? Was it a living lizard? That's what I want to know.
Right.
I hope so.
I met this guy online and we decided to go on a first date and meet up at a restaurant with 2 locations. He goes to one and I go to the other. It's fine, but he then pleads over the phone for me to come meet him at the one he's at because he got a great table. I get there and he's standing outside. We go in and we have to sit at the bar. Shit happens. I don't know, but he said he had a great table. Then he proceeds to reminisce on the last time he was at this restaurant, and he reveals to me why he needed to meet at that location. He had gone on a date that had gone pretty badly there, and he wanted me to help him process it while the visuals were available to jog his memory.
That's not real. That is not
I told him
real.
he seemed emotionally unavailable, and I left. He said I had a problem with toxic masculinity and didn't respect vulnerable men. Sure. Oh, I forgot to add that he brought magic mushrooms. I've had a few as I'm a frequent user, and I needed to mellow out after that run around. He had way too much and became a mess, throwing up before calling his friend. All of this while I waited for the cab.
He wanted a shaman to meet him at a place that means something to him, and the shaman he chose was a random girl off Tinder.
What? Pay for therapy.
I'm speechless yet again. I don't know what to say to that. That's insane. As soon as she saw him standing outside after saying, I have a really good table, I would have started the questions.
Yeah, something's weird here.
Yeah.
Unless we walked in and the table, like your coat was already at the table and you were like just trying to be nice and meet me out.
Yeah. But then that would be the answer. Oh, I walked outside to get you. Like that's, I don't know. As soon as it's, well, I don't know. They get like, and then we're sitting at the bar.
We have to be at this location, not your location. Like that was the start of it. Like,
I don't know.
Cringe.
Yeah. Yelled at the pizza delivery girl for bringing the wrong flavor of soda. He called her names like moron, etc. Even when she said she didn't pack the order, she just picked it up. After he shut the door, he said, I don't really care. I drink that soda too. I just wanted to make her feel bad. No.
Immediate no.
That is psychopathic.
Straight to jail.
No, that's insane.
You walk away and you never look back.
Something's wrong with you.
That's insane.
Not you.
That's insane. I just wanted to make her feel bad.
Come again?
How many people do you make feel bad, sir?
No, that's actually horrifying.
Straight to jail.
At least he showed you right from the beginning, this is who I am.
And he's garbage.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I had a huge crush on a girl and I wanted to take her on the perfect date. So I got floor tickets to see her favorite band at the largest arena in town.
Damn.
She was so excited to see this show with me. She had told all of our mutual friends, one of which declared that they had also planned to see the show. So hey, could they come along? I took the friend aside and I told him that he could carpool with us, but I really wanted this to be the perfect date. So once we got to the concert, he was on his own and he had to leave us alone. He agreed, and that night we made our way into the arena. I waved goodbye to him, and the girl took my hand and dragged me through the crowd so we could get up close to see the band. They played for about 30 minutes, and the girl was enchanted, holding my hand the entire time. Then they started to play a ballad. The lights dimmed, and silver confetti started raining down all around us. Our eyes locked. I put my arms around her, and I'm leaning in for our first kiss in slow motion, with my face just about an inch from hers. Our friend comes running up to us, covered in blood. He's screaming, but also laughing hysterically, trying to stop his nose from bleeding, but only smearing it all over. He tells us that he tried to get up front and somebody knocked his face into the guardrail in front of the stage and he needs our help. At this time, I can feel the moment slipping away, and I point him in the general direction of the first aid tent and tell him again he's on his own. I turn my attention back to the girl, but the moment has passed. That's okay. They can't be more than halfway through the set. Surely they'll play another slow song before the night is over, and oh no, the singer cusses out the crowd, flips us off, storms off the stage, never to play another note. What happened? What show was this?
What just happened? You know, I think it's not meant to be.
That was literally not meant to be.
Yeah.
The universe said no, and we're going to make that clear.
Yes. It's a burnt toast theory, maybe.
That was, first of all,
I'm shocked.
Someone showing up covered in blood would have been the first red flag.
Right.
The second, I mean, if the singer literally stormed off the stage and the concert ended, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take you home now.
Yeah. Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think you should do grand gestures like this as a first date. Maybe if they had mutual friends, so maybe if you were like transitioning from friends to lovers, or you know, you've known each other for years, but if it's a stranger you've met on a dating app, I feel like you should not be doing grand things on a first date. The first reason being because I think that it would freak a lot of people out. Like, we're strangers. Yeah. Why do you want to spend your money on strangers? Unless you're like a millionaire, then it's like, whatever. This is the same as going out to dinner for a random person.
Yeah.
But the other reason being, anyone can fall in love on vacation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like being on The Bachelor.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like when you're planning these grand dates, like all night at like fancy restaurants and concerts and desserts and drinks, and what's the difference between that and vacation other than the location?
Yeah.
So
your whole relationship is just like a delusion of grandeur. Like,
right, exactly.
This is what's going to be my life.
Exactly. So maybe just
maybe it is.
Right. Yeah. You know what? Maybe it is if you can keep it going forever.
Yeah.
But maybe start with something less incredible, because if you fall in love on normal circumstances, you know, those concerts are going to be even better. And I feel like she's not going to let you walk away without kissing her, you know, once she actually knows you. Like, once she knows that she likes you.
Maybe.
It's my opinion.
It is a little cringe.
Yeah. This is the most embarrassing date for me. I always dated dudes on the more unattractive side. It's always hilarious being able to say that.
You gotta start that way.
I feel like so many people just say that so they can, I don't know. You know how when you break up with someone, you flip the script. You're like, well, right, I've never dated anyone attractive. And
right.
It's like,
you none of them were hot anyway.
Did you not
they were all my charity
attractive?
Cases.
Right, exactly. And you know what? I'll probably say the same thing if I ever need to. This is the most embarrassing date for me. I always dated dudes on the more unattractive side, but this guy was extremely hot, so I was quite nervous. It was our first date, and he picked me up for dinner. On the way, he found a historic neighborhood and wanted to drive through it. It was very dark out, and I was feeling spooked because there was an abandoned insane asylum in that area. Where are you? Like, this is my question about these stories. You're saying that a guy is picking you up, and he just found a historic neighborhood.
People live in the middle of nowhere, though. Like, most people...
Yeah, okay, that's
most
true.
People do not live in a city or a very close city suburb, or like even a town that's like a decent sized town.
Okay, you're right. A
lot of people live in like the plains.
Okay, honestly, that's very true, because I'm just picturing like where we grew up, and it's like you don't just find something. Like, everything's...
I found this town on my way to pick you up.
Right. It's like in the Truman Show when... Do you know what it's about?
I've like heard it.
It's such a good movie. When he's telling like his teacher when he's a kid he wants to be an explorer, she's like, everything's been found. Like, there's really nothing else to find. I feel like that's our area. Like, you don't just find something. I feel like that's
anyone that lives... I would say even within like an hour, maybe even within 2 hours of a major city.
I don't know about 2, but...
Yes, because you're still like can get on a highway and like, I don't know. I feel like within within 2 hours, people ventured out outside of the city.
I think 1 hour, at least out of Philadelphia, I feel like,
I feel like 2 hours outside of Philadelphia.
Really?
So when you
But
start
can
hitting
get to, you can get to northeastern Pennsylvania in 2 hours.
No,
you can get
you
to the
can't.
Electric City. Are you
That's
sure?
not 2 hours. That's like 3.
No, I think it's like 210.
Scranton?
220. Yeah.
It's like far, far away.
Scranton. What? The Electric City.
Yeah, like Dunder Mifflin. 3 hours away.
I don't know. Is it?
I thought it was. Regardless, I do feel like a lot of things have been found.
Yes, that's true.
In Scranton anyway. So even if it's 3 hours away, most things have still been discovered.
I'm going to see how far it is from City Hall, Philadelphia.
Okay.
226.
Exactly halfway between what we said.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, going on. They found a neighborhood. Okay. Insane asylum, yada, yada, yada. I was feeling spooked. He parked in the asylum parking lot and I asked him if we could leave because I was scared. I had a feeling in the pit of my stomach you get when you're watching a scary movie and you know something is about to pop out. I've asked him multiple times if we could leave and he kept trying to spook me even more by saying there was a figure in the window or he sees a TV inside the abandoned building. Then there was complete silence and a cat fell from a tree and landed on the hood of the car.
No, this is
safely,
fake.
luckily.
This is fake.
But it scared the absolute bejesus out of me, so I was also screaming, and naturally tears came with that. He was like, Jesus, I didn't know you were that scared.
So she told you she was. So.
Right. So he dropped me off at home, and we never actually went on our date.
Sounds like the right thing that should have happened.
Honestly, the cat falling is unbelievable, but it was a miracle, and maybe it was even a ghost cat.
Yeah, the ghost was taking care of you, girlfriend.
Yeah, because that...
Heck that.
Anyone that takes you out in the dark with the intention of scaring you and isolating you,
No, absolutely not.
It's not a prank. Who's laughing?
No.
Who's laughing? Moving on.
This one's heavy.
Oh.
I met a guy online and we decided to meet up at a local Boston Pizza for a drink or app. We go in and we're both chatting, sitting in a booth, getting to know one another. Everything was good. We were talking about what we did for a living, and then things started to get weird. He tells me about how a few years back, he lost his job, and his buddy offered to let him stay with him and his wife. I'm thinking, what a solid friend. We all need people like that in our lives. So then he goes into detail, telling me about how he ended up having an affair with the wife, gets her pregnant, and they have the kid. Suddenly, a kid with a mop of red hair just randomly came out of nowhere, except the guy had red hair. The husband never suspected a thing. He then tells me how he signed away his rights to ever see or support the child, etc. If you think this is something that is going to benefit others or something anyone would think is a good story on a first date, it isn't. If that wasn't enough, I got told the rest of the night about kidney stones in detail. Have you ever heard the details about kidney stones while snacking on food?
Ew.
I don't recommend it. To top off this already amazing evening, he forgot his wallet. Honestly, I don't care much about that, but from the way he reacted, it was done on purpose.
He hit you with the triple threat. The child, the kidney stones, I forgot my wallet.
Like, cringe.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Cringe. You really thought that was a first date conversation. And some people are an open book, but that's just weird. That's just weird. That's not being an open book.
I feel like it should be more normal for restaurants to be able to be sitting with someone and say, I'm going to pay for my half. They forgot their wallet. So
you can figure that out.
I will let you. Yeah. I'm going to pay for what I got. And,
or like,
you know, you
can literally start the date with separate checks, please.
Yeah. Well, that's hard because you don't know if he's going to be
you know what? Well, then
person.
if he's a great person, I'll cover her check too.
Yeah,
maybe that's how you got to start these dates from.
But then you get to the end and they're like, wait, I know I said I'd cover you, but I don't have my wallet. Yeah. These people, they're thinking 3 steps ahead while being 87 steps back.
Mentally too.
I matched with a woman online who had a kid. This particular weekend, the kid was going to be with the dad. She asked me to come over and hang out. She mentioned she wanted to smoke, so I brought a J. What's that? Came over and her house was decent. She had a big sectional couch and she sat right next to me. Fired up the J, pass it to her, and she hits it a few times and gives it back. I hit it as well and offer it to her, and she says no thanks. Okay, no biggie. I put it out. She gets up after a minute and goes into the other room. When she comes back, she is sitting on the other side of the couch, not talking at all. It was then that I noticed that she had something in her hand. And she has a death grip on it. I'm talking white knuckles. I ask her if she's okay, and she says, the voices in my head are telling me to you. At this point, I notice what she is holding is a pencil. I made some kind of awkward laugh, then asked to use her bathroom, got up and saw the garage door was open. Didn't even hesitate, went right out the garage.
I probably would have called the police.
You know what? What is the protocol on that?
Someone is being told to commit harm on another person. They need a psych eval. I'd probably call the police and be like,
Okay.
I was threatened.
Okay.
You need to look into this person.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I understand the like just wanting to get the heck out of there. Like I really do understand
Right.
that. But like thinking back, it's like, who's the next person that's going to go in there? And what if she doesn't tell them what the voices are saying and she just acts on it?
Oh,
you know,
my gosh.
like you
Yeah.
gotta.
That's terrifying.
And she's a kid.
Yeah.
I would probably be like, look, she said this to me and she has a kid. Like, you might want to like look into her history.
That's terrifying. Okay.
Out the garage. We went on a double date. Not really. But we met at a cafe where I ordered some herbal iced tea. He immediately ordered the same. Then we caught a movie. I ordered water and popcorn with light butter. He ordered the same. After the movie, we went to dinner. I ordered the strangest meal I could think of. Lemon meringue pie and hot cocoa. Sure enough, my date ordered the same. No second date, but I do wonder where Echo Man is these days and if he still mimics all of his companions.
I feel like I've heard this before, or like something similar. I wonder if what I'm thinking of wasn't this story, but a different story, and this is a common thing. I don't know. I could see like if we're reading into the psyche of this person, like
He's
are
just
they
trying to be easy
or maybe they're really insecure, and he's like, I
Yeah.
don't want her to think I'm weird, so if I get the same thing as her, my order isn't weird. Like maybe they had somebody judge them for ordering something
they
weird or
ordered,
something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Sad.
Would that be a turnoff for you? This is a good
I would
question.
maybe question it. On the third one, I'd be like, so why do you always order exactly what I order? Ask
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Yeah.
And if they say like, look, I'm just trying to be easy, or I don't want to be weird, or just see what they say.
Yeah.
Unless they're like clear, like white knuckle death grip on their chair and they're like, I'm just into the same things.
Yeah. They're like, he's like, oh, I didn't even notice you ordered key lime pie and hot cocoa. This is what I eat every day.
Then maybe walk out through the garage.
Yeah.
But,
Right. Okay.
but you know, ask lighthearted.
Yeah, I guess he could be trying to.
I don't know that I would just avoid a second date if the whole date went nice and I was
Right.
just like, he copied my order.
Yeah, I didn't even think about they're trying to make it seem like they're similar to you. Like we have so much in
We're so
common.
similar.
Yeah, which is another
Cringe.
Okay, cringe.
Wait,
yeah.
let me read another really short one before
Okay.
you read a good one. I went on a date with a veterinarian who went to my church. We got back to my place after the date and my neighbor was waiting. Doc, he said, my cow is in labor. I tagged along to the barn next door. Doc was wearing a 3-piece suit. And there, under the car beams that pointed into the barn for light, I watched him strip down to his underwear to protect his nice clothes while he delivered the calf.
Wait, that's amazing. That's like the best date story ever.
Cute.
You just watched this person that
baby
is a
cow.
very skilled professional doctor, has a medical degree.
Wait, so are you taking back your very first sentiment of taking someone to a play to watch you do your job is not a date, and now you're watching this
No,
and
this
you're
is-
like, oh, how exciting.
This is actually even better because this guy got to show off his skills by accident. He didn't plan it. Like, he has the foresight to know that asking this girl to come watch me do surgery is not a date, but I'll take her on a date.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. And then this just happened to happen.
Yeah.
Now, the problem would be if he knew that the neighbor's cow
Was
pregnant
pregnant.
and she was getting to that 9 months, or I don't know how long cows are pregnant
You know what
for.
he definitely did know, though, because they all went to church together together, and when they arrived home, the neighbor was there waiting and was like, Doc, come help.
There waiting. So was the neighbor watching
like knew you guys were on a date?
Yeah, get into a car after church and drive. And then if so, how did he get there before you? And if he did get there before you, how did he know that you two were together? And if he knew that you two were together and he was also at church because someone at church told him that they're going to be leaving together,
it's giving.
Why didn't he just tell the doctor while he was at church? And if he wasn't at church, how did he know that the two of them were together?
It's giving the doctor induced the cow, went on the date, and came home and had the whole thing set up.
That's kind of what I think, because why would this neighbor just know that you two are together at church and know when you're going to get back to and not only know that you're together at church, but know that you're both going to come back here after and not just stop at the restaurant.
Although, if it was all planned, part of me thinks he would have had a spare set of clothes in his trunk that he just kept for emergencies.
Or would that have been too obvious?
And he wanted to deliver the calf in his underwear.
Exactly, because he's been hitting the gym recently and he knew it would be more impressive.
I don't know.
You know what? I don't know if this doctor is all that trustworthy.
Veterinarian doctors, I don't think need to deliver cows. I think farmers that have cows are like very competent and trained to deliver their cows. Like I think if you decide like I'm gonna raise cows, you are trained and taught how to raise your cows.
That's actually true, because every so often I will stumble upon a birth video at a farm, and it's very intriguing.
And I think very rarely is there a doctor present.
Well, I will say I've definitely seen people say we called the vet because they want to get the animal checked out as soon as they're born.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe this neighbor rescued a cow or something.
I mean, maybe this is like the smallest town you could think of, to the point where you could discover a town with an insane asylum on your way to the date. Like, that's how small this town is, and no one leaves the town. And they really did know, like, oh, so-and-so is going on a date with the village vet. And, oh, my God, my cow is in labor, so I'm going to go wait there for the village vet to get home from his date. You know, like, it could be.
It could be.
It could not be.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack here. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about that in the comments, please.
Is it too perfect?
Is it too perfect? Yes. I was meeting a guy in person for the first time after chatting online for about 3 months. At first glance, he said,
"That's a long time.
You're uglier in real life. Your photos are stunning, though." I wasn't offended at all. It was too funny. I think that's a coping mechanism. I think you are offended, and that's not funny. Unless it's your goal to appear hot online and stunning in photos.
I mean, that is kind of funny. Like, if it catches you off guard and you're just like, what?
But then like, later, what if you don't go home?
What if he's like insanely ugly and that's why it's funny?
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Possible. Let me read another short one.
Okay.
On a first date, out of nowhere, he says he's not getting rid of his cat, and his cat is more important than family. Also, we were having a conversation and he stopped talking, longer than a pause for a breath. So I started to say something, but he stopped me and said, "Oh, I'm not done yet. You can talk in a minute." That was when I realized I'm never going out with him again. You know, I think this man was on a date or in a relationship with someone in the past, and they broke up because there was an ultimatum involving this cat. So can we judge people without knowing what they've gone through?
Correct.
The allowing you to talk in a minute, that was crazy. The giving you permission. "Oh, I'm not done yet, but you can talk in a minute." Thank you so much for granting me permission. Thank you so much for granting me permission to speak.
Correct. Okay, this is a one-liner. Yes, he took me to a wedding reception of someone neither of us knew for the free food.
How did he know about it? And how often does he do this at this venue?
Maybe he lives near there, across the street.
See, this is actually a theory that I have, and I tell my friends when they are getting married in a huge venue. My friend got married in a venue that was connected to a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, lock up your cards. Do not just leave your card box just sitting there. And all the venues in Philly, those card boxes are locked, lock and key, and the venue manager has the key, to the point where I've watched guests drop something in there or bring a box and they ask if they can put it inside of the cage, the cage thing. And so somebody has to come and unlock it so that this person can put their large gift in, like an envelope. I feel like I'm not describing this well. An envelope can slide through like the wiring of the cage.
Yes.
But a box can't. So yeah, they're locked up, so they cannot be just stolen easily. And there's also security at like a bouncer basically, but they don't check the guest list. So people can enter weddings.
Yeah.
And that is something
Maybe
that scares me.
we should have bouncers with guest lists.
Honestly,
prior to our weddings.
I mean, I guess the bigger it is and the most, or the more like famous or whatever these people are important in the world, there probably is a guest list with bouncers that have it. Like, I don't know, but yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you can go to whatever wedding you want, really.
Yeah, that's crazy. I could actually see people who are down on their money being like, this venue is around the corner from me. There's a wedding every weekend. We'll know that
every
it's starting.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we'll know that it's starting when we see a bus full of guests like entering through the front door. We'll put on our Sunday best. We'll sit through the 30-minute ceremony, or we'll go in the bathroom during the ceremony and then go to the cocktail hour. Yeah. Lay low.
Free snacks.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay. You know what? Are we giving people ideas?
Yeah, I feel like we just taught you how to crash a wedding. Maybe we did.
But it's illegal. It's actually probably not illegal. Is it illegal? Do you think it'd be illegal?
I feel like it like could be trespassing. Like you're not supposed to be there.
True.
And
you're
in a building where you're not supposed to be.
You know what? It's definitely trespassing because every person there is paid for. So,
right. And you're not paid for. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a felony, you guys. So you didn't hear it from me.
Straight to jail.
You did not hear it from me. I have a one-liner too. On a first date at a Burger King during an awkward silence, quote, "This is exactly the kind of awkwardness I was hoping to avoid." Honestly, why do I feel like that would like break the ice a little bit?
It totally would, but like the person is not wrong.
We're on their side, actually.
I am, because it's like you can go on first dates where you talk the whole night, and whether you like the person or not, like that's great. But sometimes there's that awkward silence and you're like, okay, I literally don't know what to talk to this guy about. And like, honestly, like if there's really nothing to talk about.
I kind of agree with you, because if you're on a first date and
you already
awkward,
have nothing to talk about.
Like, right. Like if it is awkward and you both are struggling to think of something to talk about, what would be the more like genuine thing to just be like, well, do you like watermelon? Like, or are they going to say, yeah, I was actually hoping to avoid this level of awkwardness? If someone said that to me, I would probably laugh out. I don't know, especially if you can both read the room.
Yeah.
Like, we both know that this is awkward and uncomfortable. Yep. So I'm just going to, call out the elephant in the room and say, this is the kind of awkwardness I was hoping to avoid. And then maybe you can be like, yeah, haha, like.
We can see if we can read each other after that. Because if you're funny enough to say that, I can be like, you're right. And then I can be like, all right, icebreaker, or like whatever. And we can see if we can rebound from it. If we can't, our question is answered. And if we can, great. We probably have the same sense of humor.
Yeah. You know what? I think everyone should start saying this.
We should start making awkward pauses and then saying it.
Yeah.
New dating tactic.
Just sit there on your date. Especially if it's going really, really well, just pause for a second. And then if they start to say something, just stare off into the distance.
Wait until it's been a good silent moment.
And then wait 10 more seconds and then say, this is actually the type of awkwardness I was hoping to avoid. This is okay. You know what? It is a little bit awkward but you know what? I think the person who wrote this is giving themselves up, because
you caused the awkwardness.
You're actually probably more awkward if you can't recover from that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you're not socially awkward, you could probably find it in yourself to laugh at that and be like, ha, I know. This is the hard thing about dating, Like, there's always these awkward pauses, but
there's not always, though.
No, I know, but like I'm saying, if someone said that to you when it was genuinely awkward, you could read the room and you could say to them, quote, haha, yeah, I know. Early on, dating is always so awkward. Sorry about that. Let's talk about something else. I don't know.
About watermelon.
Tell me about whatever. Yeah, watermelon. I was thinking about watermelon because I had one and I let it go a little bit, not stale, but it wasn't rotten either. It was at this weird.
Too ripe, overripe.
Yeah. Only half of it was good.
That's so sad.
Anyway. Wait, I have 3 one-liners. Someone said, I couldn't ever sleep with you. I'd be afraid to snap you in half.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
So you're calling me Bella Hadid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
No offense, but you're bigger than most girls I would date. Said by the most average looking man with a beer belly. Thank God I never have to talk to him again.
Respectfully, thank you.
Respectfully, thank you for showing me who you are. Bye. Last one. He told me he would love to use my thick thighs as earmuffs. I didn't know how to reply to that one as it was unprompted.
That one is definitely meant to be a compliment pickup line. That is meant to be a good thing.
That is definitely a pickup line that people use, men, sick in the head men use because they think it's going to be funny and make you laugh. I've just seen so many posts about the first message that men send women via dating apps.
Oh.
And it's just a little bit absurd. And that is a very, very tame version of some of the stuff that these men...
I don't even want to hear them.
No, I don't want to say them.
Yeah.
Like, let's not.
Sad.
When you are trying to find someone to date on a dating app, you don't need to send them an overly sexualized message within the first 5 seconds, okay?
Yeah, no. Just
time
stop.
and place.
Just stop.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
Here's one. Joan was born in Toronto and I in Buffalo. Our very first date was in February, so I asked her if she wanted to go tobogganing. We went on a golf course, which was private, and slid down the hills. Security actually caught us, raced towards us on their snowmobiles, but we buried ourselves in the snow. By the time they made it to us, we were completely hidden. We've been married for 50 years, even though I've proved correct everything she's ever heard about crazy Americans.
Wait, that's crazy.
You outran/hid from security on snowmobiles.
Wait, toboggans.
Yeah.
A toboggan's a sled.
Yeah, but they like hid from the security on snowmobiles.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you were saying they were on snowmobiles.
And then that was their first date, and then they got married.
That's crazy. I was actually gonna be like, this is fake. And
yeah,
then
I feel like it's not
50 years. Yeah. Wow. That's so cute. Oh, should we end on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
end on a
happy
note that all of them were like never wanted to see again. That one was like ended on 50 years of marriage.
Yeah. What was your worst date ever? I feel like I haven't been on a lot of dates.
I've had some that were just awkward silence.
Let me try to think of something crazy that happened on a date. Oh, one time I got a flat tire on the way to a date and he had roommates at the time. So I got it figured out and I asked, like, do you still want to meet up? Because I was like, at this point, I do just want to have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And he said that he was like walking out the door when he got my text that said I got a flat tire. And his roommates were like in the living room watching a movie and they were like, bro, like, come on.
Shoot.
And then when I got there, I didn't notice when it was like dark on the side of the road, but I had like dirt on my pants.
Oh no.
And so, it was my proof.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I didn't lie.
Yeah.
Things happen. That was kind of funny though.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching our episode.
Hopefully they were enjoyable.
I know. I want people to tell us their first date or worst date stories. Doesn't have to be
these
first.
I feel like these weren't even worst date stories. They're just like funny date stories.
Yeah. Bad horror stories.
Give us some good ones. That they don't have to be negative though. They can just be like.
But the negative ones are the most hard hitting. If it bleeds, it leads.
Fine.
What was the craziest story do you think you read? Did it involve a nosebleed? I'm just trying to prove my point that if it bleeds, it leads.
Oh.
If your friend's nose bleeds on a first date.
I've had a nosebleed on a first date, but
really?
I don't want to tell the story.
Oh, okay.
But I have.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our episode. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.